Will Colin Kaepernick play in the NFL this year? That's a question that many people have been asking. It's been all over the news networks, the sports news networks, having these conversations about Colin Kaepernick. It's like the million-dollar question. Now, we all know Colin Kaepernick created much attention to issues regarding police brutality, and it started a national conversation that got sidetracked into patriotism. Do you love America? Do you love the troops? Well, yesterday this conversation came to a head with even more distraction because Michael Vick, former player for the 49ers and for the Falcons, who just retired as a Falcon last year, he went on FS1 and he made these comments. He said, first thing, we've got to get Colin to cut his hair. Listen, I'm not up here to try to be politically correct. Even if he puts cornrows in there, I don't think he should represent himself in that way in terms of just the hairstyle. Just go clean cut. You know, why not? You're already dealing with a lot of controversy surrounding this issue. The most important thing that he needs to do is just try to be presentable. I just think perception and image is everything. This is not the Colin Kaepernick that we've known since he entered the NFL. I'm just going off my personal experiences. Listen, I love the guy to death, but I want him to also succeed on and off the field. This has to be a start for him. After this video went up and it went sort of viral, I guess you'd say, many people witnessed it, they were upset. They said that Michael Vick is tap dancing for the establishment. Who knew he would go to these lengths? So Michael Vick released a statement defending himself. He said, Colin Kaepernick's hair has nothing to do with him not being on the NFL roster right now. Let's be clear. I wish only the best for Colin. I stand by what I've said about him being signed at some point this season to help a NFL club. I think he is a great kid who has brought a bright future, and I'm looking forward to see him on that field again. Trust and believe what I said was not in malice. Now, in response to Michael Vick, or I'm assuming it was in response to Michael Vick, because Michael Vick is mentioned nowhere in the post made by Colin Kaepernick, either on Instagram or on Twitter, and this is what the post says. It says, Stockholm Syndrome. The Stockholm Syndrome appears when an abused victim develops a kind of respect and empathy towards their abuser. It was named after a bank robbery in Stockholm when a group of bank employees were held hostage and developed a strong sense of empathy towards their captors. When this traumatic event was over, they even defended their captors by not wanting to say anything that might endanger their captors' freedom. This usually happens because the victim sees the smallest act of decent behavior as an extracted event, which makes them see their captors as essentially good. This way, they leave aside all the negative behavioral distinctions of their captors and focus on the positive ones. This syndrome is also called traumatic bonding or victim brainwashing. He said, first thing we got to do is to get Colin to cut his hair. Well, if the issue is Colin Kaepernick not playing well, shouldn't the first thing we do make sure that Colin is playing well? Shouldn't we want to make sure his skills are up to par? Shouldn't we make sure he's practicing? Shouldn't we make sure that he's working on his lateral movement? I'm just saying, if this is about football and not about something else, why not let that be the first thing we're focused on? But see, it's not about football, is it? It's about something else. He says, I'm not up here to try to be politically correct. You're right about that. You're not trying to be politically correct. You're trying to be with the establishment. You're trying to suit the needs or the wants of the NFL. Listen, I'm not up here to try to be politically correct. You're now also not up there to try to be intelligent or to make a point that's valid. You know, if you don't understand that black people catch hell in this country for reasons beyond hair, a black man with no hair, still a black man. Black man with long hair, still a black man. A black man with cornrows, still a black man. It's all black, black, bliggity, black. I direct you to Jay-Z 444. I mean, you could play it. You don't even have to read. You could just play it. He says, I just think perception and image is everything. Really? You mean to tell me they bring back a player like you, Michael Vick, who was a convicted felon, onto the game, onto the field, onto a team, and you mean to tell me your image, you were able to play with an image of being a felon? You're trying to tell me that that's correlated with Colin Kaepernick? I don't understand. What law did he break? What did he do, really? What did he do that broke a law? Don't you understand? See, we have a fundamental problem with not just black athletes, not just black elites. We have a problem with Americans who are where they want to be, and they focus on that. They're focused on money. They're focused on attaining more money. They're not focused on the group. Make all the criticism you want of Colin Kaepernick. But Colin Kaepernick stood for something beyond himself. Mke Vick, what do you stand for beyond yourself? And don't give me platitudes about I'm a comeback story. I showed the world, the kids, that you can go to jail and come back and do well. No. What have you stood for? See, before that, you weren't standing for anything when you were in Atlanta showing your ass, when you were in Atlanta hanging out with thugs, your old friends getting into trouble, when you were in Atlanta breaking laws. What did you ever stand for? You stood for something with your crew. See, Colin Kaepernick is standing for something to make this country better. And the fact that we got old, bigoted white men owning teams who are rich and elite does not change the fact that he's right. They're wrong, Mke Vick, and now you're on the side of them. We put you on the opposite side of us. Michael Vick says he didn't speak with any malice in his heart. And I'm not suggesting that you have malice in your heart, Michael Vick. I'm just suggesting that you don't have much heart. When I mean heart, I mean courage. When I mean heart, I mean ethics. I mean things you stand for that you will not waver from. And I get it. You know, maybe you're from the school of black folks that take one on the chin and say, hey, I just got to do what I got to do. We just got to do what we got to do. That is a recipe for disaster. We cannot continue that way. We have to bring awareness to issues. And instead of you supporting bringing awareness to the killing of unarmed citizens in this country, you'd rather go on that show, throw Colin Kaepernick under the bus, make it about something that's totally irrelevant to the conversation. No, Mke Vick, I don't know where you live right now. I know you went back to Atlanta to retire there. They were gracious enough to allow you to come back so you can retire a Falcon. And that's all great and good. And I'm not sure if you stayed in Atlanta or where you reside, but I can tell you where you physically reside is one place, but where your spirit resides is in that sunken place. I don't know if you have Stockholm syndrome, if you're just ignorant, or if you're just doing the bidding of the NFL brass. But regardless to if Colin Kaepernick is recruited by a team or not, he will have the respect of many in this country and beyond. You, Mke Vick, though you may have appeased and placated the powers that be, you will have none.